Hello and welcome. Welcome to day 1 of 30 days of KineScentials. KineScentials is an exploration of a movement, an essential oil, and that essential oil applied to a specific acupoint. Today on day 1, we're going to be exploring one half of the movement that I just demonstrated. That movement's called the turtle, and it's derivative of the gyrotonic syllabus. I'm a master trainer of gyrotonic, gyrokinesis, and all aspects of gyrotonic. So over these next 30 days, you'll likely see a fair amount of movement derived from that system, which is a beautiful system. Just as a little aside, I'm really thrilled for the opportunity to also be presenting gyrotonic to any of you who may not have been exposed to it before. It's a brilliant system. So day 1, we'll be looking at the cervical thoracic aspect, decongestion aspect of the turtle movement. The oil that we're pairing with that is marjoram, beautiful oil, and the acupoint we're applying that marjoram to is GB21 or gallbladder 21. Now, a loose template that we'll use over these next 30 days together is I'll introduce or demonstrate the movement, which is what I just did. I'll then teach the movement to you. We'll learn a little bit about the oil that we're pairing with it, as well as a little bit about the acupoint and also getting really clear where that point is on your body. And then we'll just dive into going through the oil, the application, and the movement together. Okay, so let's get started with cervical thoracic decompression aspect of the turtle. Start by sitting upright. Let the attention come into your pelvis. And we want the pelvis to be really truly upright. So not back of the sits bones nor forward of the sits bones, really truly on top of the sits bones, so that we can then feel that pelvis kind of as our anchor. And then we bring our attention to a gathering sense of the energies into the centermost part of our body, which we call the seed center. And then an emerging of the spine up and up, like a yearning or the stem of a plant growing towards the sunshine. Now in gyrotonic, we often use the principle of opposition, so as well as this upright intention, we also want a rooting downwards through the arms and through the legs. And this is our starting position. First motion is to send a breath of a bend into the elbows, bringing the hands beside the pelvis to the level of your lap. From there, become aware of the heart center and a sense of expansion through that heart center into a circular pathway that then feeds into the C7, the point at the base of the cervical where there's a protruding bone. That bone is called the cervical 7 or the C7, and it's the junction between the cervical and the thoracic spine. So once again, we have the expansion of the heart center that wraps around and back into that point. So from this place with your hands by your lap, we go around and back in, and now we want to have a sense that we're swallowing that C7 protruding bone forward through our throat notch, which is located between our clavicle bones, and that there's a spongy texture to that gathering, and there's no sense of kind of clamping down. So you heard the difference in my voice already, right? My voice is clear here. Spongy texture. And then emerge the spine to its tall uprightness again as you root down through the arms and legs. One more time together. Inhale as you take that breath of a bend into the elbows with the hands by your side at the level of your lap. Exhale as you feel the energy emerging out from the heart and around the shoulders and back into the base of the neck at the level of the C7. Stay for an inhale breath. And then exhale as everything comes back to uprightness with a sense of releasing any tensions away from that area collected at the base of the neck. Beautiful. Okay, so that's the introduction to that. Don't worry, we'll come back to it when we put everything together. Next, we'll take, where is it? Here it is. Next, we'll take marjoram. Anytime you're exploring with an oil, first thing you want to do is just take that lid off and take a nice deep inhale. And it's really a nice practice if you have time at some point, kind of separate from this, to just take your time with the oil. But for now, we'll just observe. And so with the marjoram, the first thing that you notice, or that I notice, is a kind of a lightness, a green in the scent. And that greenness has an uplifting quality. Alongside that, there's a spiciness that has a kind of camphor quality, and that is known to activate the chi and move the chi around the body, the energy pathways. And then also subtle underneath there's notes of sweet and of woodiness, and that has a comforting and grounding quality. Marjoram is also known for its ability to release and relieve muscular tension and stress. And the GB21 point is also known to relieve and decongest accumulations of congestion in the neck, shoulders, and upper back. So you can see how these three things really align to come together and work on that aspect of decongestion of the cervical thoracic. So the GB21 point, to access that or find that, we take our fingers and let them just trace down this big muscle that slopes from the neck to the shoulder. That's your trapezius muscle. Do that once again, and about halfway along, you'll just come to a point where when you're on the right point, when you're on GB21, you just have this feeling, your body responds with an ah. So again, it's about halfway down the trapezius muscle on the apex of the muscle. So we'll go ahead and apply the marjoram. We use about a 25 to 50% dilution. Mine is pre-diluted, but if yours isn't, you can place your 100% drop in your hand and just add a drop of your carrier oil and mix it together so you can dilute on the spot. And then you just add it onto your finger, share it with the other finger. I like to use my middle finger. And then the other beautiful thing about the GB21 point is when you apply, you're giving yourself a hug. So let those fingers alight onto the GB21 point, and then let your body kind of descend into a stillness and a calm where you can become an observer. No inhibition, allow whatever comes. If your body desires to move, I know for myself there's kind of a bubbling up of energy, and without there being any specific pattern, there's just a movement, there's a playfulness to it, a lightness. And then alongside that, as well as that, there's, for me, I observe a spaciousness, a sense of space in my pelvis, as well as a kind of comforting groundedness. Oh, and then finally, kind of the next layer is this beautiful sense of release, softening, and relief. So whenever we're applying on the acupoint, we're staying there for however long it takes. Generally, it's somewhere between 40 seconds and 1 minute, 2 minutes, maybe sometimes even 3 minutes. But we're staying open and observing and waiting for this sense of adjustment or transformation, or just, and it's subtle. Anyway, from there, let the fingertips come to the nostrils and take another inhale of that beautiful marjoram. Let yourself bask in the marjoram. And then let your hands descend by your sides. And as you take your next inhale, also the elbows bend. And as you exhale, you feel that expansiveness from the heart wrap around and gather into the spongy texture of the base of the neck. Inhale again, and then as you exhale, emerge. And as you emerge, let anything that you've gathered that you no longer need melt away. One more time, inhale, softening the elbows. And as you exhale, the heart expands and those energy pathways feed into the base of the neck. And that's a continuous pathway. And inhale again. And exhale as you emerge, releasing. Beautiful. So that's our day one exploration with our top half of turtle, our marjoram, which is the Great Pacifier, and our GB21 point. I hope you had some kind of transformative experience, and I look forward to exploring the bottom half of the turtle, which is the lumbar sacral decompression aspect. And I'm going to keep the oil and the acupoint as a secret. So I'll see you tomorrow. Have a beautiful day.